Hello guys, it's Brandon and I'm back today with a pumpkin recipe. It's that time of the year, so I thought I'd do something pumpkin. And today we're doing Mini Pumpkin Cheesecakes. No bake. Let's get started. So for the crust, we'll need 15 sheets of graham crackers and about 8 tablespoons of unsalted butter. For the filling, you'll need about 16 ounces of cream cheese, 1 cup of pumpkin puree, half a cup of sweetened condensed milk, 3 to 4 tablespoons of sugar depending on how much sweetness you want, 1 teaspoon vanilla extract, half a teaspoon of salt, and either 1 tablespoon of pumpkin spice, or you could do like me and make a blend of about half a teaspoon ground cinnamon, half a teaspoon ground ginger, quarter teaspoon nutmeg, and a pinch of clove, and about 3/4 of a cup of whipped cream. I used homemade whipped cream. You can use Cool Whip or store-bought whipped cream. So first, we're going to ground up our graham crackers. You can use a food processor like me, or you can do it with your hands, just bash up the crackers, and you're looking for a sandy, gritty texture. Next, we're going to take our 8 tablespoons of butter and melt it in the microwave. Now, you're going to want to combine the melted butter with the graham cracker crust and basically just keep mixing until instead of having dry sand, you end up getting a more wet, like mushy sand. Next, you're going to get some cupcake tins and line them with paper liners, and then give them a quick little spray with some cooking spray. And now, you're going to take either a spoon or a measuring cup. I'm using an old protein scoop, and just pour them into each mold evenly, and then pat them down nice and tight so you can have a nice solid crust. Set aside the cupcake tins, and now we're going to work on our cheesecake filling. So first, what you want to do is whip out your stand mixer. You could do this with a hand mixer too, and pour in your cream cheese. You're going to whisk it on high speed and take it like a nice airy fluffy cream cheese mix. And once you have that consistency right, you're going to pour in the cup of pumpkin puree and give it a mix. Once the cream cheese and pumpkin puree is mixed, you're going to add in our pumpkin spice and our salt. With the mixture still going, you're going to add in your sweetened condensed milk and your vanilla extract. And the sweetened condensed milk acts as like a solidifier and helps keep the mix nice and sturdy together when you freeze it. Now we're going to add in our whipped cream. Again, I'm using homemade whipped cream, but there's nothing wrong with going to the store and picking up some Ready Whip or Cool Whip. And we're just going to add in 3/4 of a cup of that and give the whole thing another mix. The last step of the mix is to put in the sugar. I ended up putting a little under 4 tablespoons. It's purely to taste. You could put in a little bit at a time, and since this is no bake, you could taste test it while you go through and reach the sweetness you want. So yeah, for mine, I went a little under 4 tablespoons. Once you're done adding sugar to your mix, it's time to assemble the cheesecakes. So you're going to take your 2 pans out and basically divide the mix between your 12 cupcakes. I used a piping bag. You can use a spoon. And as you can tell, I'm not that good at piping. So yeah, you're going to do that. Divide them evenly. I also ended up smoothing out the tops because I didn't like my piping work. And once you have all 12 nice and done, you're going to get some saran wrap, cover these up, and pop them in the freezer. You don't want to put them in the fridge because the lining is not going to set right because the fridge isn't cold enough. So you want to put these in the freezer, and that way when everything thaws, it's going to break apart nice and smooth and not make a mess. So yeah, put these 2 in the freezer. I suggest doing it overnight, and then yeah, let's see what happens. It's the next day, and as you can see, our cheesecake is nice and frozen. What you want to do now is take the paper lining off of all 12 cheesecakes, because if you wait for it to fully thaw, it's going to be messy and ripping, and you don't want that. So even if you're not going to eat them all now, just take the lining off all of them, and if you're going to eat it that day, you just put it in the fridge. It takes about 20 to 30 minutes to thaw out. If you're going to eat them later, you just take the paper off, put them back in the freezer in a freezer safe container, and just separate them with parchment paper like I did. And yeah, there you have it. Mini pumpkin cheesecakes. As you can see, now right before you serve it, you just top it with some whipped cream. I try to be fancy with some candy pumpkins just to make it Instagrammable. And yeah, quick tasty recipe. If you like this video, leave a like and leave a comment down below any suggestions or comments, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye.